If we want a robust society, we need more robust dialogue, and that must include the right to insult or to offend. Laudable efforts to restrict speech can become a tool to silence critics or oppress minorities. The strongest weapon against hateful speech is not repression, it is more speech. And that's the essence of my thesis, more speech.
Thank you, Irina, for such a generous introduction. And on behalf of the entire He for She team, I also want to thank UNESCO for all of its support. It's meant a lot to us. Thank you all for being here for this important moment. These men from all over the world have decided to make gender equality a priority in their lives and in their universities. Thank you for making this commitment. I graduated from university 4 years ago. I had always dreamed of going, and I know how fortunate I am to have had the opportunity to do so. Brown became my home, my community, and I took the ideas and the experiences I had there into all of my social interactions, into my workplace, into my politics, into all aspects of my life. I know that my university experience shaped who I am. And of course, it does for many people. But what if our experience of university shows us that women don't belong in leadership? What if it shows us that, yes, women can study, but they shouldn't lead a seminar? What if, as still in many places around the world, it tells us that women don't belong there at all? What if, as is the case in far too many universities, we are given the message that sexual violence isn't actually a form of violence? But we know that if you change students' experiences so they have different expectations of the world around them, expectations of equality, society will change. As we leave home for the first time to study at the places that we have worked so hard to get, we must not see or experience double standards. We need to see equal respect, leadership, and pay. The university experience must tell women that their brain power is valued, and not just that, but that they belong within the leadership of the university itself. And so importantly right now, the experience must make it clear that the safety of women, minorities, and anyone who may be vulnerable is a right and not a privilege. A right that will be respected by a community that believes and supports survivors, and that recognizes that when one person's safety is violated, everyone feels their own safety is violated. A university should be a place of refuge that takes action against all forms of violence. That's why we believe that students should leave university believing in, striving for, and expecting societies of true equality. Societies of true equality in every sense, and that universities have the power to be a vital catalyst for that change. Our 10 impact champions have made this commitment, and with their work, we know they will inspire students and other universities and schools across the world to do better. I'm delighted to introduce this report on their progress, and I'm eager to hear what's next. Thank you so much.
To have compassion as an actor is to have compassion for the characters that I play. I have to suffer with them. I have to understand, and I have to not judge it. I have to be forgiving of it. To have compassion for a character is no different from having compassion for another human being.
I'm speaking to you at what I know is an increasingly challenging time. A time of disruption in the life of our country. A disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to many, and enormous changes to the daily lives of us all. I want to thank everyone on the NHS frontline, as well as care workers and those carrying out essential roles, who selflessly continue their day-to-day duties outside the home in support of us all. I'm sure the nation will join me in assuring you that what you do is appreciated and every hour of your hard work brings us closer to a return to more normal times. I also want to thank those of you who are staying at home, thereby helping to protect the vulnerable and sparing many families the pain already felt by those who have lost loved ones. Together we are tackling this disease, and I want to reassure you that if we remain united and resolute, then we will overcome it. I hope in the years to come, everyone will be able to take pride in how they responded to this challenge. And those who come after us will say the Britons of this generation were as strong as any, that the attributes of self-discipline, of quiet, good-humoured resolve, and of fellow feeling still characterize this country. The pride in who we are is not a part of our past. It defines our present and our future. The moments when the United Kingdom has come together to applaud its care and essential workers will be remembered as an expression of our national spirit, and its symbol will be the rainbows drawn by children. Across the Commonwealth and around the world, we have seen heartwarming stories of people coming together to help others, be it through delivering food parcels and medicines, checking on neighbours, or converting businesses to help the relief effort. And though self-isolating may at times be hard, many people of all faiths and of none are discovering that it presents an opportunity to slow down, pause and reflect in prayer or meditation. It reminds me of the very first broadcast I made in 1940, helped by my sister. We as children spoke from here at Windsor to children who had been evacuated from their homes and sent away for their own safety. Today, once again, many will feel a painful sense of separation from their loved ones. But now as then, we know deep down that it is the right thing to do. While we have faced challenges before, this one is different. This time we join with all nations across the globe in a common endeavour, using the great advances of science and our instinctive compassion to heal. We will succeed, and that success will belong to every one of us. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. But for now, I send my thanks and warmest good wishes to you all.
So, today, on World Children's Day, let's make new promises to the children of the world. As leaders, as public figures, as parents, and of course as human beings, we must all do more to protect children's dreams. Because the future doesn't belong to us, it belongs to children.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, history is more than the path left by the past. It influences the present and can shape the future. We meet today in Westminster Hall, a building begun 900 years ago, when the Vikings were visiting the shores of what would become the United States, even if it was Columbus who would subsequently demonstrate the politician's art of arriving late but claiming all the credit. This hall has witnessed grim trials and the sentencing to death of a king, coronation banquets, ceremonial addresses, and the coffins of those receiving the last respects of our people. Few places reach so far into the heart of our nation. Yet, until today, no American president has stood on these steps to address our country's parliament. It is my honor, Mr. President, to welcome you as our friend and as a statesman. Statesmanship is the cement which seals our shared idealism as nations. It makes meaningful the unity of ambition, passion for freedom, and abhorrence of injustice that is the core of our close alliance. It has fallen to you to tackle economic turbulence at home, to protect the health of those without wealth, and to seek that precious balance between security, which is too often threatened, and human rights, which are too often denied. History is not the burden of any one man or woman alone, but some are called to meet a special share of its challenges. It is a duty that you discharge with a dignity, determination, and distinction that are widely admired. Abraham Lincoln once observed that nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
Mr. President, I think that response describes far more eloquently than any words of mine could do how much that very memorable and inspiring address was appreciated by everybody who heard it here today. You spoke with great warmth and great generosity about the British Parliament and the British people, and about the links that bind us, the values and the traditions that we share, the history that we have experienced together. But more than that, you spoke too, not just of the relationships of the past, but the relationships of the future. And I think that was what made what you said so inspirational. It was a distinguished American governor of New York who remarked on the propensity of politicians to campaign in poetry, but to govern in prose. The world you described to us today was not just one that is prosaic. It was one where the challenges are difficult and sometimes dangerous, one that is fast-moving, that is complex, sometimes contradictory, and that offers at least as many threats as opportunities. But in the eloquence of your address, you reminded us of the importance of maintaining the poetry in government. Because to lead, that poetry is necessary not only to articulate the challenges, as you did so masterfully, but also to bring others together to face those challenges with common principles and with shared purpose. Mr. President, it has been a privilege for all of us to hear you speak today. It is a privilege for me to have the responsibility of thanking you on behalf of both Houses of Parliament for coming to Westminster and to wish you and Mrs. Obama a very happy and pleasant rest of your stay in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much.
I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold. The second female Prime Minister, but certainly not the last. I do so with no ill will, but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
We are going to unite and level up, bringing together the whole of this incredible United Kingdom, taking us forward, unleashing the potential of the whole country, delivering opportunity across the entire nation. And since I know that after 5 weeks, frankly, of electioneering, this country deserves a break from wrangling, a break from politics, and a permanent break from talking about Brexit.
Remarkably, a year that has necessarily kept people apart has in many ways brought us closer. Our frontline services still shine that lamp for us, supported by the amazing achievements of modern science, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. We continue to be inspired by the kindness of strangers and draw comfort that even on the darkest nights, there is hope in the new dawn.